Before the world knew what funk could be, there was a sound that was wild, free, and unpredictable. It didn't follow rules, it broke them. At the center of it all was one man, a visionary and a genius. As the leader of Sly and the Family Stone, he created a sound that blended soul, rock, funk, and psychedelia into something that the world never heard before. He brought people together across race, genre, and culture. But as fast as he rose, he disappeared. His life story is one of brilliance and revolution. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Sly Stone. Now before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born on March 15, 1943 in Denton, Texas, he's the second of 5 children. His devout religious family was associated with the Church of God in Christ and took their belief with them when they moved to Vallejo, California. Music surrounded him from a very early age. Raised on church music, Sylvester was 8 years old when he and his 3 siblings recorded a 78 RPM gospel single for release as the Stewart 4. By his teenage years, he was already mastering multiple instruments, including the piano, guitar, bass, and drums. Music wasn't just something he loved, it was something he understood. A musical prodigy, he became known as Sly in early grade school, and the resultant of his friend continuously misspelling his name Sylvester. He performed in multiple high school bands by the time he was 11 years old. In the late 50s, it was noteworthy because one of these bands that was named the Visgains had an integrated roster. Working with his younger brother Freddie, Sly released a few tracks during that time, and the group cut a few singles. Sly continued his musical study at Vallejo Junior College in the early 60s. Sly produced a top 5 pop smash song, Come On and Swim, in 1964. He also became a well-liked disc jockey at the Bay Area stations KSOL and KDIA after being renamed Sly Stone. Although these radio stations was mainly R&B, Stone mixed songs by modern rock bands alongside the popular soul tunes of the day. Sly became very popular. He was first introduced to white artists with R&B influence into the station's soul music genre, especially the British invasion bands like the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and the Animals. Sly brought his show to KDIA, where he kept DJing until the start of Sly and the Family Stone. In August of 1966, Stone started his own band after being inspired to create a band that combined rock and soul. Sly was the head of a group that was named Sly and the Stoners, which included Cynthia Robinson. Additionally, his brother Freddie was head of a band that was called Freddie and the Stone Souls. Sly and the Family Stone was officially established in March of 1967 after saxophonist Jerry Martini encouraged Sly and Freddie to blend their bands together. Sly rapidly became proficient on the keyboard, and Freddie took over on guitar. The lineup was completed by bassist and vocalist Larry Graham and their sister Rose, who contributed to keyboards and vocals. This multicultural band, racially integrated, gender inclusive, and musically diverse, made a lasting impression on the music industry. Their approach was revolutionary during a time of deep division in America. Their music reflected unity, energy, and change. The band quickly rose to fame with hits like Dance to the Music that peaked number 8 on the pop charts and number 8 on the R&B charts, also going certified gold. Everyday People that peaked number 1 on the pop charts and number 1 on the R&B charts, also going certified platinum. Thank You, that peaked #1 on the pop charts and #1 on the R&B charts, also going certified platinum. Hot Fun in the Summertime, that peaked #2 on the pop charts and #3 on the R&B charts, and going certified gold. And Family Affair, that peaked #1 on the pop charts and #1 on the R&B charts, going certified gold.
Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair.
Their sound was fresh, exciting, and impossible to ignore. They wasn't just making music, they was leading a movement. In 1969, Sly and the Family Stone delivered one of the most iconic performances in music history at Woodstock. Their electrifying set became a defining moment of the era. They embodied the spirit of the 60s, which was freedom, unity, and expression. Sly Stone had become a symbol of new music and a cultural revolution. Numerous of issues arose as a result of the band's recent popularity and fame. The band's relationship was failing. The Stone brothers, and Larry Graham in particular, was at odds. The record label wanted more commercially viable songs, and they also went through some issues with their manager. Stone and his bandmates started abusing drugs, most notably cocaine and PCP. In the fall of 1969, Stone and his bandmates began using drugs. Stone allegedly carried a violin case that was full of narcotics everywhere he went. As the group emphasis on drug usage and the partying grew, while recording drastically decreased. As the 70s began, the tone of Sly music changed. On albums like There's a Wire Going On, reflected a darker mood. Fame, pressure, and personal struggles began to take a toll. Substance abuse and erratic behavior started affecting his career. The energy that once fueled his creativity began to unravel. Missed shows, canceled tours, and unpredictable appearances. Sly Stone became increasingly unreliable. His band began to fall apart, and the sales and popularity began to decline as well. Since 1970, Sly and the Family Stone's live engagements had slowly decreased due to promoters concerned that Stone or one of the band members may skip out on a performance. The band frequently experienced these problems throughout the 70s, which negatively impacted their capacity to claim payment for live bookings. Out of 80 performances in 1970, 26 shows was canceled. The original members of Sly and the Family Stone had left by the middle of the 70s. As a solo artist, Stone went on to record 4 more albums. High on You, which was published under his own name, and there was 3 other albums that were issued under Sly and the Family Stone name. In 1976, he assembled a new group that was titled The New Family Stone, and they released the album Have You Missed Me? Well, I'm Back. In 1979, they released the album Back on the Right Track, followed by the 1982 album Ain't But the One Way. None of these later albums achieved much success. Stone also collaborated with Funkadelic on the Electric Spankin' of War Babies, but he was unable to reinvent his career. In the early 80s, Sly became part of the George Clinton Funkadelic Family Project with Muruga Booker called the Soda Jerks. Stone managed to do a short tour with Bobby Womack in the summer of 1984, and in 1986, Stone was featured in the track in the video from Jesse Johnson's album Shockadelia that was called Crazy. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Sly made appearances by recording with other artists or writing and producing for the likes of The Bar-Kays, Earth, Wind & Fire, and Bobby Womack, to mention a few. In the 90s, Sly and the Family Stone was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Eventually, he disappeared from the spotlight. For fans, it was both confusing and heartbreaking. On February 8th, 2006, Stone performed live for the first time since 1987 at a tribute to Sly and the Family Stone. at the 2006 Grammy Awards. On Sunday, January 14th, 2007, Stone supported the new Family Stone at the House of Blues, where he made a brief cameo. On July 7th, 2007, Stone made another brief appearance with the Family Stone. He briefly performed for 20 minutes before leaving the stage. Over the years, Stone made more appearances, and although these appearances invoke a strong sense of nostalgia, it was also devastating for funk fans to witness the state that Sly was in. Following the spotlight, Stone incurred some extremely challenging obstacles in his life. He was homeless for several years in the Los Angeles area of Crenshaw, where he lived in a camper. A lovely couple made sure he ate at least once a day. In January of 2010, Stone had filed a lawsuit against his former manager, Jerry Goldstein, for $50 million, accusing Goldstein of cheating him out of years' worth of royalty payments for the songs that he had written. He had testified that he had not been paid royalties between the years of 1989 to 2009. In January of 2015, a Los Angeles jury ruled in favor of Stone, awarding him $5 million. However, by December of 2015, that ruling was overturned. Despite his struggles, Sly Stone's influence never faded. His work shaped funk, hip-hop, R&B, and even rock music. Artists across generations had sampled, studied, and celebrated his sound. His innovations in rhythm, production, and performance changed music forever. Since 2019, Stone has been drug-free, but sadly, on June 9th, 2025, Stone passed away at the age of 82. Along with James Brown and Parliament-Funkadelic, Sly and the Family Stones was pioneers of the 60s and early 70s funk. Their fusion of R&B rhythms, infectious melodies, and psychedelia created a new pop, soul, rock hybrid, the impact of which has been proven lasting and widespread. Today, Sly Stone is recognized as one of the most important figures in modern music. His story is one of brilliance and complexity, a reminder that a genius often comes with its challenges, but his contributions remain undeniable. Sly Stone didn't just make music. He created a movement, a sound that broke barriers, a vision that brought people together. His story may be complicated, but his impact is very clear, because even when the man disappeared, his music never did, and that sound will live on forever. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song by Sly Stone? Before I go, I want to take a second to promote my Discord. Over here, I provide a safe space for my supporters. We discuss music of all genres. You can provide me feedback on recent uploads, etc. If that interests you, then go ahead and check me out. The link is in my bio. While I have y'all here, if you would like to support the channel further, then feel free to become a member. By doing so, you help make these videos possible. I thank each and every one of you who supported me along this journey.